Hello and welcome back to the No Name Sports Show. We are back. Yes, it's been a very long time and everything like that, but hey, a lot of stuff happens and all that stuff and everything. That's the one thing about us. We have things that are outside this stuff that we cannot control most of the time and all that stuff and everything. But no, we're back. In case if you don't know, the No Name Sports Show is our monthly sports show where, of course, me, your host Ricky, along with the co-captain of the show, Manny Canales, is here.
How's it going?
And then if you didn't
How's it
know,
going?
Manny is here and all that stuff. So if you
I
actually
am.
if you don't know, we do have the No Name podcast, and also which you have an episode coming up pretty soon and all that stuff. Talk about some cool things and all that stuff and everything. If you notice, Manny hasn't been in those episodes and all that stuff like that. But again, that's what I'm saying. We've been busy. We have stuff. Manny in particularly, we have stuff.
Very,
But
very.
though he hasn't been on the podcast, that doesn't mean he cannot do the sports show because it is a monthly show and all that stuff and
It's
everything.
correct,
And
yeah.
yes, this is our very first episode since November. We apologize for that. Again, stuff happens. it sucks and everything. Like trust me, you know badly because there's a lot of stuff that's happened in sports, especially the day of recording this. A lot has happened and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
So
This is true.
we have a lot to talk about. We'll try to give everything we can and everything. But again, this is our monthly sports show. We can catch us here on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, many other podcast services that were available and all that stuff. Where you can check it under the No Name Entertainment feed, and if you have and all that stuff. And then again, we'll be back. This is a thing. We're still doing this. Me and Manny are still doing the sports show and all that stuff. Manny is still doing No Name Entertainment content and all that stuff. Be on the lookout for anything for some surprises that might come along the way and everything like that and everything. It's just that now how it looks now. Me and Manny got the sports show. Me and of course our other co-host Arturo will be doing the No Name podcast and all that stuff. But Manny, it's been a while. It's been a very long time
Been a very long time.
since the No Name Podcast episode 101 and everything back in November because we did just happen to check that before we started this recording and
Yeah,
all
we
that stuff.
did.
But
We
how's it
did.
been? How's it been?
It's been good. It's been really busy, dude. It's extremely busy.
Mm,
Like days are going by fast.
yeah,
Like I feel like yesterday was Christmas. like days are going by extremely fast. But
yeah.
it's going good. I mean, busy's good. I'd rather be busy than not have anything to do. So
True, true, true.
yeah.
But okay, but let's again. We're back. We're gonna make sure we get this to you every month and every for this stuff because a lot of stuff. Not only are we at the end, we're at the end of football season. Super Bowl's coming up because this will be coming out before the Super Bowl, and everything we do. Basketball is in high gear now after what we'll be talking about for a while. Baseball season's coming up pretty soon and all stuff. Hockey's getting into its second half of the season after they just did their all star
So break.
break and everything, and a lot of other things that are happening pretty soon. MLS season is starting pretty soon and all that stuff. But let's talk about a few things. But before we get into all the stuff that's coming up, starting, revving, ending, let's start with something that has already ended, and that is college football. Uh, Pretty much, we're gonna get this out the way and talk about a few things. Let's just say this: college football playoffs, amazing semifinal games, boring ass. I should probably bleep that out. Finals game and everything like that. Let's just cut it in a nutshell and everything like that and everything. I watched all three games. Manny, did you yourself?
Yeah, I did, and
Uh,
I watched the full thing of the finals because of Pat McAfee.
I watched the full game. I watched the full game because I needed to watch the Ant Man trailer and stuff and everything like that. And if you haven't seen the Ant Man, if
Oh
you
yeah, I
haven't seen
forgot about that.
my reaction to the Ant Man trailer, be sure to check that out on the No Name Entertainment YouTube channel if you haven't already and all that stuff. That's the only reason why I watched it. You know, that's the only reason I kept watching, so that way I could finally watch this trailer and all that stuff and everything. So, I mean, let's say first quarter probably maybe there looked like there was a chance, but Georgia just ran over TCU after
Yeah,
that. It didn't.
it looked like how like when you're playing like games
Mm-hmm.
like you're playing Madden but you're playing the easy mode
Yeah,
and like by like
that was
quarter two
that.
it's like 102 versus zero.
That was that. It was like it's like that Simpsons meme where it's like, stop, he's already leave him
yeah.
alone and everything like that. It was literally that. It was just like, oh my god. But it was,
Yeah.
again, like I said, amazing semifinal games and all that stuff at the same time. It's like with the college football playoff, knowing what it is, blowouts in the semifinals, close game in the finals. This year, the total opposite and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But the thing was, they were, like I said, both semifinal games were amazing. Either team could have won it and all that stuff. It ended up being TCU and against when they played Michigan. Uh, Literally Georgia at when the clock struck midnight at the East Coast at least and everything to see that game going to see that field goal to get that kickoff and everything like that to win it. Oh my god, it was like story. It was storybook. It literally storybook and all that stuff. And then come to the finals. Oh, it was just upsetting.
Sadness.
It was just sadness all around and everything like that. And it wasn't. And then because the thing is like you can't blame TCU for having a bad game. It's just more the fact and all that stuff. It's just the fact that it just shows that how Georgia is really a really good ass team and all that stuff. No, that's all it is and everything. But it's just and then it's like here like people people can say like, oh, it should have been Alabama this whole time and everything like that. But yeah, at the same time. But here's the thing though, Bama lost their chance when they lost twice in the season and all that stuff. Not
Lost 3 times. Should have lost 3 times.
should have lost three. In all honesty,
We should have beat them.
I'll agree with you. I will agree with you. That did look like Texas had a chance on that one. I kid you not. On that one.
Yeah.
Texas
And
had a
that was
chance.
without Quinn. That was
That is
without
true.
Quinn.
That is true. So it's like here's the thing: they lost twice. They weren't good. Most of their wins weren't good wins and all that stuff and everything. And you just happened to lose at the moment where TCU was rising to when up in the ranks and all that stuff. So I say the top four was right. It's just the fact of, in all honesty, say if it flip flops, say it was because like here's the thing, we would have got a Michigan Ohio State rematch and all that stuff, and that would have been interesting to see too. So it's like it can go like I said, the semifinals could have gone either way. We got what we got. They earned their right to make it to the finals, both TCU and Georgia in the semifinal games. It's just the fact that Georgia was a better team overall and everything,
And extremely a lot better.
And they showed it, and they really showed it in that game.
Yeah.
And everything. It's just is it upsetting about how that played out? Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like it is what it is, and we got and all that stuff and everything. I still believe that the top four teams that made it into the playoff were the right ones to get picked and all that stuff. It's just that it's just the fact that it shows us Georgia was a better team and all that stuff and everything. And they can learn from the mistakes because if you look at the Ohio State game, they were showing they made mistakes in that game and all that stuff and all that stuff to keep it a close game of what it was, and they almost lost that game and everything, but they were able to fix it with a week off and then showed what they and look what they did to TCU and all that stuff. Speaking of Texas, though, we just recently got some news this year or before today, as we were on the day of recording of this episode. It is official that both Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC in 2024 and all that stuff. If you don't already know, back in 2021, I want to say it was announced that Texas and Oklahoma would go into the SEC, but that was supposed to happen in 2025. Now, but there's always been talks of them leaving early, so now it's official. After a few deliberations between both the Big 12 and the teams and everything, and of course some little talks with the SEC to get stuff going. Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC in 2024, so they have one last season this year in the Big 12, and they'll not only this will be in the new expanded Big 12 because there will all be new teams joining the Big 12 later this season. I think since Cincinnati is one of those teams to name one, and but not only that, though, this officially now, 2024 will now begin not only a brand new SEC with Texas and Oklahoma joining, this will also be the new Big Ten will begin with the USC and UCLA joining in that league, in that conference, but also the expanded playoff will begin in 2024 too also. So a lot of things to look forward to.
As well.
2023 will look like an overshadow and all that stuff, because more will be looking forward to 2024. But as Manny was about to say,
a different Quinn Ewers.
of course,
The mullet is gone.
of course, The what?
I don't know if you saw that. The mullet's gone.
The mullet's gone.
The mullet's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Texas winning the Big 12. The
Yeah.
mullet's gone.
Villain arc. Villain arc.
The villain arc has begun. The villain arc has begun. Everything, I don't know. But yeah.
And then we got Manny coming in. We got Archie.
Archie is. Oh yeah, he did commit.
Yep, Archie committed.
And also,
We got Archibald.
Manny our resident Texas fan and all that stuff. Long horns up to him and everything like that.
Yeah.
What do you think now? Of course, now that it looks like this is official, you don't have to wait that long now for Texas beating the SEC. What are your thoughts on that?
It's exciting. I'm excited to see them play against bigger teams. Last season, I thought they showed really good effort at improving themselves. A couple seasons ago, I was really worried, but last season they did really look like a good team.
Do you think?
And there was some hiccups and stuff with Quinn being injured for a while, but
you think because you think they will be able to, depending on how this upcoming season looks with them and everything. Do you think they have a chance of competing with the SEC's schools and everything in football at least?
I do believe so. Yeah, I believe this current team can compete with the SEC football.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as all of them stay healthy. Because I know last season we had a lot of injuries and stuff, but as long as they stay healthy, I think we have a shot.
Yeah. So to give a little thoughts on to little things to get it going. The exit fee for this, because since they are part of the Big 12, normally if you want to leave early, there's something what's called an exit fee in order for that to happen. It is going to be a combined $100 million for them to leave this early, and everything. It would have been a little bit more if they had left, say, like if they had joined this year and all that stuff. So, and the thing is with that $100 million, that'll be actually distributed out to the remaining 8 teams right now that are in the Big 12 and all that stuff. It won't go to the new teams that are coming in this season. It'll just go to the ones that are currently there right now at the moment before the new teams come in.
So they're changing to the Big 10, right?
No.
They're changing to the Big 10?
Well, no, because it's like 4 teams joining them.
Oh, so the Big 12. It's going to stay Big 12 then.
Even if it was just the 8 teams that they have currently, that's minus Texas and Oklahoma, which is Kansas State, Baylor, Iowa State, TCU, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and Texas Tech. If it was just those, they probably would have kept State as the Big 12. I mean,
you don't think they would have been the Big 8?
They would have kept it the Big. Well, I mean, here starting next year, the Big 10 is going to have 16 teams, but they're still going to be called the Big 10.
Yeah, that's true.
And all that stuff and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised.
What league is Nevada in?
Mountain West, I believe.
Okay. Oh, right, because they're in the same as San Jose State, huh?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And everything. So yeah, but yeah. So with that, Texas Oklahoma will officially be joining the SEC come 2024, and everything. So 2024 will be a very interesting year to look. It's a big year for college football. So.
Yep. Can't we go to Stanford games?
Huh?
Can't we go to them Stanford games with how easy parking is? With how simple stadium, entry is.
All right, on to the other football, and that is soccer.
CFL. Oh.
No. I said the other football when I meant by that. Okay. We'll talk. The NFL is going to be talked about. the Super Bowl is coming. That'll be later in the show and everything like that.
No, CFL? CFL needs love too.
CFL doesn't need love. Okay, we're deterring. I got something to talk about. That's I found interesting about Super Bowl's end. But anyways, on to soccer. MLS specifically. Season's coming later this month. I think it's the 25th, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong on that. But as you know, as we talked about last time, they are now going to be all games will be now shown on Apple TV. Manny and I have officially officially purchased the season pass for it and everything. Again, if you don't know, Manny paid $100 for it. I paid $80 because I have an Apple TV Plus subscriber for that and everything. But again, if you haven't already, season pass will be every single regular season match for that, and I'm very excited. Here's the thing: so I have an Apple TV device
Mm.
and everything. So once it officially went live and everything, the MLS section within the Apple TV app has a lot of stuff in it that I was surprised to see. And also, if there was like a year in review, they were talking about like team individual stuff, both for overall league and both with each team. There's like a section for each team itself where you can go in and all that stuff. They have like a quick videos where it does a drone view of each MLS stadium and all that stuff. I was like, they're
You can
pushing
get that on YouTube probably.
they're pushing that on content, you know. So I mean, yeah, there's a YouTube channel specifically that does that stuff. In all honesty, and everything. But the fact that they have, I mean, but the fact that they have they're providing content already just with it and all that
Yeah,
stuff
that's
for the
true.
season. It's a lot. Says a lot about what Apple wants and unless they're trying to do for this service and everything, and all that stuff. Um, I'm
Can
very
you watch the 2003 Classico?
okay. I don't. Okay, let's not go that far now. In all honesty, I think they had like, I mean, if I remember correctly, I think they had the MLS Cup last year's MLS Cup game in there. Also, I could be wrong. I got to double check it
Okay.
also. So I was like, hey, this is actually. I'm like, it looks like they're they're providing content and all that stuff for it already.
To be honest, I haven't looked at any of it yet. I kind of bought it and just
Have
kind of
you even downloaded the app
dipped.
on your whatever
I
device
do
you
have
have?
the app because I had to sign in and stuff on it.
Mm,
Um, but as in like look through the content, I have not done any of that.
yeah,
But if the 2003 Classico is on there, it's worth it because I
it's.
only have that on VHS.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see give this a shot because I
Yeah.
want to give I want to give this a shot because it's like I do want to get more into soccer again and all that stuff and having this will help will not only will be interesting to see and what this provides. We'll probably talk about this a little bit more in next month's episode since we'll be watching a few games already. Again, how the schedule works, it's going to be games on Wednesdays and Saturdays and all for those stuff. And though for some odd reason, the one of the LAFC games it's later in the season got shifted to a Sunday. Didn't
What's it against?
I don't remember who it's against. It's somewhere the game's like in late in the season, like towards the end of the season. But I don't know. I forgot who it was against and all that stuff. And I was like, but it didn't provide a reason. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that's weird and all that stuff. Now, so again, if you haven't already, if you happen to be an Apple TV Plus subscriber, it is $12.99 a month or $79 for the $80 for the whole season. If you're not an Apple TV Plus subscriber, it's $15 a month or $199 for the season and all stuff. But if you happen to be a season ticket holder to any MLS team, it's included with your season ticket holder. It's included with you already. So you got stuff. Not only that, again, every MLS game, every MLS playoff and MLS Cup match, and everything, and every Leagues Cup match that's coming pretty soon, but uh, except for in Mexico and everything. Along with that, you will be able to catch matches both in either in English or Spanish. If and of course there'll be French available for Canadian teams, on the Canadian teams and everything. Speaking of which, as I mentioned, Leagues Cup official groups standings have been official. They're out and I'm trying to grab them right now. I knew I knew it was supposed to involve every single team in every single league, but god damn, the group draw on this is crazy and all that stuff. So for those who don't, to provide a little to provide some, there will be there already is a buy to for LAFC and Pachuca, if I said that right. And
Pachuca, yeah. Close
Pachuca,
enough.
since for the fact that LAFC won the MLS Cup, and secondly, Pachuca won is the overall leader of the of Liga for that. And then pretty much every single group is consists of two MLS teams and a league and a Liga team and everything.
Yeah.
And also that's pretty much what it is. Um and all that stuff. So again, these games I don't think we have a definitive schedule on when this out, but pretty much this will happen. Both seasons will pause; their individual leagues will pause for this tournament to happen, and everything. And then pretty much we'll have our overall winner, And I'll actually give them. I think the top 3 teams give them into where was it? The we'll call it the champion as well as second place, third place finishers will qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League and have the opportunity to earn a spot in the FIFA FIFA Club World Cup for that also.
Okay.
CONCACAF, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, CONCACAF. That's what I'm gonna say. Thank you for that. But that oh yeah, so everything will start July 21st and then it'll end on August 19th for that. So that will be happening. And now and again, I bring all this stuff up and then say, but we talk about season pass, so where you can watch all these games, both MLS regular season and the League's Cup. But you're asking yourself, but what if I don't want to get the season pass, and if I what if I want to watch this on regular television? Well, you're in luck because that is happening. So there was a deal made. You can watch Major League Soccer games if you on Fox, Univision, TSN if you're in Canada, and all that stuff. So there will be select games happening on those particular channels within the 4 year within the next 4 years. For that, and that'll also include some League Cup matches and all that stuff, particularly for us since we are in the United States and all that stuff, to provide more context on what these will particularly provide. 34 regular season games and 8 MLS playoff matches will be distributed on Fox FS1 or Fox Deportes, and then 15 regular season games will be on Fox particularly. The MLS Cup will be on every year on Fox and Fox Deportes for the Spanish speaking, and the League's Cup will include 10 group stages, 4 round of 32s, 2 round of 16s on FS1 for that stuff. So if you don't plan on getting the season pass to watch your games, you will be able to watch on regular television for that. So that stuff. So yeah, so there is that. So you everything. So again, be sure to check that out and all that stuff. Manny, you are a San Jose Earthquakes fan and everything. What do you think about your
Yes.
team? What about your team? What do you think of? How do you feel about your team, both for this regular season and then in the upcoming leagues in the Leagues Cup? Because you will be you're in a group with the Portland Timbers and the Tigres.
Tigres Unal, yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah. So obviously, I'll be watching West One as well as East Two. I'm a Pumas fan from La Liga MX. Um, so it'll be interesting. Tigres are really hot right now. I believe they're in third, if I remember correctly. I haven't looked at the standings in a while. So that's going to be.
Oh yeah, this is started.
Yeah, the season started. So right now Tigres are going to be. We'll have to see how the Timbers do, but I know for sure the Tigres are going to be harder for us. It just really depends how the MLS goes. We're going to have to see how the Quakes do this season as well as the Timbers, and then I'll get more of a accurate, seeing what's happening. As for East Two, I'm not really worried about Montreal. I am worried about DC United a little bit, but I think Pumas can get it done. We're in 6th place right now. We didn't do too good last season, but I'm pretty confident in Pumas. West 2, I really want to see, mainly because of Monterrey. I know as of right now they're in 1st in La Liga, so that's gonna be interesting. See, trying to see the other Central one. I'll probably catch the America games just because it's America, and I'll probably watch Central 3 just because it's Chivas. But I'll be focused mainly on the Pumas and the Quakes games. Um, just because time constrictions, that's probably all I'm gonna watch. But yeah, I mean,
we'll see how based off how they'll do timing and all that stuff because we don't have a full schedule and everything like that.
yeah,
Bracket and schedule is going to be announced in the coming months, so we'll probably know near around maybe May at least to see where that looks like and all that stuff. But hopefully we'll get everything done and all that stuff. But other than that, we'll see where this goes from there, and hopefully we can get everything kicked off soon and all that stuff because I think this is gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of soccer for me to watch this year and all stuff and everything. I'm gonna be doing this. Gonna watch Leagues Cup and all that stuff when this comes out. And I'm very excited to see where this goes and all that stuff for that stuff and everything too. So I'll tell you this: I watched a Premier League game, and I like
Mm-hmm.
what was it, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning our time
Mm-hmm.
because they're
About right, yeah.
it's like
It's about right,
I
yeah.
was like, how do people do this? Oh, that's so
Yeah,
it is tough.
yeah. How do you think I feel about watching AC Milan games? Same thing.
I understand.
11 in the morning.
Like I understand it. Who was it? It was I think it was City versus United. If I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah.
I just happened to
Oh,
get
so it was a big game.
it was it was a good game.
Yeah.
I just happened to get lucky at the same time because I didn't sleep that night and all that
Oh,
stuff.
okay, yeah, yeah.
So I was just
Sleep is
like,
better.
yeah, and then I was like, I just happened to like it was. I just knew. I was like, hey, Premier League's probably
Might
starting
as
soon.
well.
Let's see who's playing and all that stuff. City United. I was like, okay, why not? Also, good game, wonderful game, beautiful game, and all that stuff. It was like I was like, oh, and all that stuff. Fell asleep a little bit, but then again, I'm tired as hell because I didn't sleep and all that stuff. But I still got to watch it, so I was like, okay, cool, and all that stuff. I'm gonna try to keep watch. It's so far I haven't in the last couple of weeks because it's like I need to get some sleep. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to get back into. I'm gonna try to like slowly get into that. So Premier League is gonna be his thing. I'm gonna start watching again, and all that stuff. Champions League when that because that's supposed to come back. That's supposed to start back soon, and all that stuff. So we'll try to do that and everything. So we'll see where that goes too and all that stuff. But yeah, because I want to get back into. I'm trying to focus on soccer this year and all that stuff. Trying to focus on some soccer this year and all that stuff. And then plus Ted Lasso season 3 is coming this soon too. So might as well get into that. Might as well come back into that too. But
Yeah,
anyways, that's what we got. Soccer's here. We're getting ready. It's gonna be exciting times and all that stuff. Pretty good
it
things
is.
gonna happen. Copa America is actually gonna be in the United States starting next year and all that stuff too. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's happening next year. We're gonna get both teams from both uh federations. Is that what they call them? Federations?
Let's
Concave
go with that. Let's
Concafo?
go.
Is that what they call them? Federations? I don't know. I'm trying to remember the names for the actual names. You got the clubs, you got the leagues, you got the governing bodies of that, and then you got FIFA itself and all that stuff. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. So there's this documentary on Apple TV Plus. It's called
Right.
it talks about the events leading up to the Super League when where it came to be and then the
Oh yeah,
fallout
yeah,
and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It was a 4 part thing and all that stuff.
Okay.
Watched all four, and that was the most interesting thing I've ever heard in my life. I think probably some of that's not true, and also because because like here's the thing, the head of UEFA was on it, the head of La Liga and everything, and then the I think he's the owner of Juventus. I think it was.
Oh, okay.
He was in it. Like there, I mean, there were the actual people themselves and all that stuff were in this and all that stuff
Yeah.
that talked about what led to this and everything like that. And it was very interesting. Though I think like there are some things that probably didn't like or not probably not true or it was like maybe they didn't like and all that stuff. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? But it was a good documentary.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. If you have Apple TV, it's on Apple TV Plus, so you would have to subscribe to the thing for it to watch it and everything. But it was totally worth watching. Few tidbits though, from what it sounded like. From what I found out, Champions League is watched every year by more fans than the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, and the World Series combined.
A lot of people.
That is a lot of people and all that stuff and everything. And what it seemed like at the beginning of this, how it all started, it was seemed like because it was like the Super League was based off a combination of different teams from different leagues. Some from like it was like Barcelona, Juventus, some of the big Premier teams, and all that stuff. And from what it sounded like, it looked like it was the Spanish teams that were of wanting to do this first. Because like how it when we first heard about it, it felt like and how the fallout went, it felt like this was more coming from the the premier teams, the owners of the premier teams, and also
Right.
particularly the American owned or not and everything like that teams. But apparently this started with them and all that stuff, and then they like came in later on and all that stuff when trying to join teams. Then there was like this dramatic shift of that from when the Paris PSG them in particularly they made there was a shift in when they decided to stick with UEFA and all that stuff and everything, and it was like this. They made it like into this big thing, and I was like, okay, calm down. Okay, we get it. This is a big deal for UEFA and all that stuff and everything and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But it was a very interesting. If you're into soccer, if you're into football and all that stuff, you have Apple TV Plus. I be sure to check it out. It's really cool and everything. On moving on though, on to some competitive video games and all that stuff
Mm.
because that is a sport and all that stuff. You can't say nothing else about it because people actually get
Yeah.
injured. People get injured and all that stuff and everything like that and everything and all that stuff. Everything. So
So, do I classify as an athlete?
yes,
No, that's that shouldn't be a thing.
and all that stuff and everything. Particularly since since our last episode was in November. Uh, the big two of the biggest competitions have started already for us. That is the Call of Duty League with the Modern Warfare 2 season beginning, and the League of Legends esports both in the LCS and the LCEC in Europe, along with LCK in Korea and the LPL in China, have begun their 2023 seasons and everything. I will say this: I've only been paying attention to Call of Duty League as much. I have been watching LCS, but it's come to my attention that I cannot watch a hundred thieves match because they lost the first game, but they have won their next three haven't since I have not watched them and all that stuff.
Mm.
So I have come to the conclusion now that I cannot watch an the LCS team watch and all that stuff without not watching it, and they win the game because they won today because they played today. They played today. Well, it's today of recording and all that stuff. Few tidbits to note of what's if any big changes for LCS. Showings are on Thursdays and Fridays now from 12 starting at 12 Pacific time, or is it 2? I forget. Oh no, I'm thinking Eastern time. That's why, and everything. So they're having their Fridays.
You're thinking Eastern time?
Well, because like so the thing was like before
Oh,
this.
Eastern. I thought you said Easter. I was like, what is that?
Oh no, because the thing was before the season started, there was a big deal at the fact that they shifted to Thursday and Friday. But the other thing was, it was based off the time, the original time they placed. It was too early in the East Coast and everything,
Right.
so they shifted down. And I was thinking that time, but I can't remember it right now at the moment and all that stuff. But so that's on Thursdays and Fridays. LEC, that is that is the European League. That is on Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays.
EULCS. Got you.
Anyways,
It's still EULCS.
to you, yes, to you think like that, but LEC is what it is now. It has been for the last couple of years and all that stuff and all that stuff. Man, he doesn't like change. I've learned that about him in sports. When it comes to
I
sports,
do.
when it comes to sports,
KOI. I'm really excited for KOI. Okay. I'm extremely excited for KOI coming from Superliga. Okay. And I mean, they're not high up there, but they're high up there, kind of.
the fact that you still
Oh,
call
¿qué pasó, Chochi? ¿Qué
LECs
pasó? What's up?
and all that stuff, it's just funny you say. But yeah, so the thing is, so LEC is Monday, Saturdays, Fridays. LEC's has 3 splits now. It's a winter, spring, and summer. Winter has already begun playoffs. The last it was a funny story. A couple weeks ago, man, he had asked me how's Fanatics doing in LEC, and I was like, I have no idea right now at the moment. And the last edit, as I checked, LEC Fnatic did not make playoffs and everything like that. Unfortunately, because they did not have a good record for that, and that sucks and all that stuff. But it is what it is. LCS has just started their season and all that stuff, and everything. It looks evenly balanced. I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell and everything like that, but it is what it is. We got a dog looking Manny right now at the moment for our audio listeners right now and everything. So it's just so in case you want to interested, check on the YouTube channel to check that out, all that stuff. But that's not here or there. That's coming up. We'll probably have to talk about it a little bit more once we actually watch some matches and all that stuff to get pay attention and all that stuff. But Call of Duty League. Call of Duty League is a big one. We have
All right,
two.
that was a little cameo.
Yeah, the first two majors are already in the books as of day of this recording. We've already seen we've major one. We had New York win that major, and then major two we have the Atlanta phase is won their first tournament in the last almost nearly 2 years. Yeah, since they won Cold War championship and all that stuff. So that's been a thing as well. We have witnessed we've the end of an era, as people will say, as Optic Texas known Scumpy has officially retired from competitive Call of Duty.
Yeah, why did he retire halfway through the season? Can you explain that to me?
So the intention was this season was going to be his last season.
Okay.
And how everything went. But based off how the season has progressed for him and all that stuff, and though he was playing well and all that stuff, the team overall, like performance wise, wasn't that good. There were some issues here and there, some drama and all that stuff, and then pretty much right before the final week of major two qualifiers, he thought it would just be best if he just retires now. That way the team can hopefully improve on. Because also there was also issues with one of the players, Dashy, having some issues. Looks like you've seen they're having some issues here and there, and all that stuff. And they wanted to keep him as much as possible and try not to
Right.
and everything. And so
I like Dashy.
Yeah, Dashy's a good player. Though that didn't though they ended up getting somebody else to when he originally was dropped in a way.
Yeah, he was benched, right?
Yeah, he was benched, and they picked up Hook. He was originally with LA Gorillas, and they played again. That weekend they played well with when they added Hook and all that stuff. But Scump just that next day we find out he's retiring after that and all that stuff. And then they bring back Dashy. They play well. They've been playing fine. They They happen to lose in losers. I want to say finals. I could be wrong on that. They lost to LA Thieves on that one. And then as of today, it has come notice that Illy has been dropped from Optic Texas, and they picked up somebody else. So I don't know what's going on right there. That was a surprising move right there.
All on Hex's birthday.
All on Hex's birthday too. No, Illy was actually yesterday.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It became official like today because they just picked up the new guy too.
Oh, okay, got it.
I forgot his name. I forgot who it was, but yeah. So Illy's out, and this new guy's in, and I'm forgetting his name, and it's pissing me off. And all that stuff.
It's something. It's probably something kind of weird. They have kind of weird names.
I'm currently searching for it right now, so that way I can just feel.
I'm guessing something like
stuff and
like Robert or something.
It's not Robert. No, it's not.
Robert. They should have like normal names. That'd be kind of funny. They have like
and everything. So it's just
like to go by like their government names. That'd be kind of cool.
Their government names, you say?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that'd be kind of funny.
Just popped it up right now. For those who are listening to the audio. Ghosty. Yeah.
No, I don't care for that.
Yeah. So that roster will now be Dashy, Shotzi, Hook, Ghosty. Dude. The roster is Dashy, Shotzi, Hook, Ghosty.
Bruh.
They should have just kept Illy and dropped Hook. Look at it. That's stuff. Every person in that ends with a Y. Dashy, Shotzi, Illy, Ghosty. Come on now.
He's named Hookie.
They'll probably just say that for the heck of it. They'll probably just say it for the heck of it and all that stuff. One of the noticeable things about the Call of Duty League in particular for this season, they're no longer broadcasting on YouTube exclusively. They are currently now on Twitch and everything, and there's been skyrocket viewer records and all stuff since it's been back on Twitch. But there was a rumor going on recently during Major Two tournament playoffs, where there looks like there's a chance that it might go back to YouTube exclusively. Here's what I'm going to say about this because it needs to be said.
Does it?
That shit, Call of Duty League should not be exclusive to a specific platform. Just show them both on YouTube and Twitch. That way, it's being shown more broadly and all that stuff, especially now.
Fair.
Especially now for that stuff. The same. It should be like that for. I believe it should be like that for all esports. I get the fact that Twitch is the de facto place to watch this kind of stuff. YouTube is something that's still on the ground, still getting off the ground with its live stuff, live streaming stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, to me specifically, I feel like it should be they should just have it on both and everything. So that way it's broadened out to get that out there and all that stuff, and it helps you out and all that stuff from what you do. Yes, right now the fact of there are like Twitch drops when you're watching Call of Duty League right now and all that stuff, but you can do this. They did it on YouTube and all that stuff, so you can still do it for both platforms and all that, for those stuff to get those drops and everything, and make sure you're just and all that stuff. It'll be worth it. I think it'll be helpful. Well, right now at the moment, will the majority be on Twitch? Of course, that's because of that's because of everyone's used to that. But I think for the fact if you put it on both, you'll get a new demographic at least within YouTube and all that stuff. And the fact here's the thing here's also the thing. The reason why I'm saying this because I do prefer it to be on YouTube, but I would prefer to watch on YouTube before just for the fact that I can rewind it and go back and all that stuff to a certain spot that I want to see it without having to clip it, do an extra click to clip it on Twitch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's just me in general though, and all that stuff. So that's all I gotta say about that. So and everything. So I'm okay with it being on Twitch. It's just more of the fact I rather prefer it be on both YouTube and Twitch than it being exclusive to either one and everything.
You can have the option.
That's why you have the option and all stuff. I mean, and all stuff. I mean, League Esports does the same thing. They're both on Twitch and YouTube. I would just again, I would for me specifically, I would choose YouTube only for the fact that I can rewind. I can use the bar to rewind, go back to certain spots, or else you can't do that on Twitch.
Right.
But that's just me and all that stuff. But yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the esports front and everything, particularly and all that stuff. Because I mean, there is one more thing about esports, and that's because of the NHL 23 World Championship. And
yes,
Manny brought this up. We're only talking about this because it makes no sense now because it's already started.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Fair.
And
that's fair.
Fact that this article, the byline on the article, was dated back in November. Since we haven't recorded an episode since November, I let it slide and all that stuff.
To be honest, it's just that I wanted to talk about this, but I couldn't find a decent article that was from this month because it's taking place this month.
Yeah. So
what was it? The 7th, I think it started.
They did some.
But the thing is,
their new All-Star break.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because it's kind of hard to find any type of information on this thing.
Well, yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I think, and particularly what I found weird about this is just the fact that each club is doing their own competition,
right?
In their own formats.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Not really sure why either.
That makes no sense.
It's kind of weird.
And
then I don't know. There's a lot of things that don't really make sense with it. I really wish they would do, like I was talking to Ricky before we started, that I'd really wish they would do something like the NBA. What is it called?
The NBA 2K League.
2K League. I mean, it'd be a little bit harder because there's so many rosters. I mean, there's so many players, but I mean, I feel
Well,
like they can do something.
well, here's the thing. Like, here's the thing about the NBA 2K League. They didn't. They when it first started, it didn't have every single NBA team. They were able to get a good amount number to do to and they're able to start one, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And then they went with that and all that stuff. And then a couple more, like some of the other teams did join in later on, and all that stuff. But and all that stuff. But that was just it. This right here is just like this FIFA and Madden. And we talked about this before we recorded, where I
Yeah.
was like, these particular leagues in particularly make no sense whatsoever in my opinion, and all that stuff, and all that stuff. So it's just like because
It's a little weird.
when I saw this timeline that they had, I was like, what?
Yeah. And it gets confusing to watch sometimes. Like how like it's just hard overall to get any type of information on it. That's the
Because
one of my gripes.
the thing is about particularly with these things in particularly, and especially this is with this being more of an this. It seems like this has like an open thing to go. When it goes into a closed circuit later in,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But it just makes it weird. And it's because you're focused on an individual player. Trust me, don't get me wrong. I'm a I love myself. Like I'm a big
I love
fighting.
myself.
Myself, I'm a big proponent of like fighting game tournaments because of all that stuff. And even though that's a lot of people to try to pay attention to, this right here
Yeah.
just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, once you start getting to the actual like I only watch it once it gets to the finals or like semis, but watching the whole league is a little tough. And I feel like they can change it and make it a whole lot better. But if and when they'll do that, who knows?
Yeah,
That's
I,
the sad part.
it just depends on how this all gets all figured out. And all that
Yeah,
stuff. There needs to be a way to fix that more better to get this more thorough and
there has to
clear.
be a way.
There really is,
There
especially
has to be
for
a way.
particularly for these esports ones like this Madden, FIFA, and all that stuff. There needs to be something more clear and all that stuff.
Yeah, and just more professional.
In a way, yeah.
Like I mean, yeah, like I mean, it's so hard to access. Like it took me so long just to get an actual article on it to get information about it, and even then, the articles aren't really informative. They just kind of tell you when it's starting. They don't really tell you, like how the league structured. It doesn't tell you. You don't really get player informations.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. All right. On to the NBA and basketball. First things first, congratulations to LeBron James as he is now the all-time lead scorer of the NBA of the league and everything. He did that just past Tuesday, and everything, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and everything. I did watch the game myself. Very emotional.
Is it Javar or Jabbar?
Jabbar.
Bar?
Yeah.
I never knew.
So,
I was never sure.
I watched the game myself. Everything. Watching that, even though they had lost to the Thunder. Great, nice thing to see.
That kind of stuff. That kind of sucked.
It was a nice thing to see and everything. It was history in the making. Something that was happening. And everything. It's nice to see. I mean, because I watched LeBron's first game when he joined the league. So it only makes sense to watch this game, particularly for him to pass.
True. Yeah, this is true. Wait, so, when was his first game?
His first game, what I don't remember the year, but it was when he was with his first year overall when he was the number one pick with Cleveland. It was against the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I watched that game.
Live or?
Huh? No. I watched it on TV.
Oh, that would have been cool if it was live.
He
went live
at the game itself. Oh, trust me, tickets were probably expensive at that time to go see that.
To go see the Kings.
Well, I mean, it's LeBron James, the number one overall pick, and he's supposed to be. He was this person to say was supposed to be. He is the future. He's great, and look at him. And look what he's done since then, and all that stuff.
Space Jam.
Not that, but okay. So,
No,
but
that's not what
anyways,
you're talking. I mean, he did though.
he did Space Jam. Yeah, could have been better in my
Not as good as number one. Not as good as
could
number
have been
one.
better in my opinion, but it is
Could
what
have been
it
a whole
is.
lot better.
It is what
I
it is.
I didn't like the story. I'm not gonna lie.
But anyways, getting to what is to the thing is about this is as we're again the day we're recording this happened to be the final day, happened to be the trade deadline day, and everything, and a lot of
This
trades,
is correct.
and I mean a lot of trades happened before the deadline and everything. But
Yes,
we are
a lot.
we are gonna focus on a big ones. One particularly for Manny and all that stuff because he happens to be a fan of this team on a and the way he became a fan of this team was the most dumbest, craziest thing ever. And all that stuff. I'm not gonna call it dumb anymore. I'm just gonna call it crazy because it's a story in itself. In all honesty,
It's this whole story. Yeah, yeah.
it's a story in itself and everything. But so
Which I
again,
don't know if I can say because that other person's not here. So
yes, and the focus. But again, we are gonna focus on the more bigger ones and all that stuff, and that is particularly one, one of course, Kyrie Irving getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and of course the other one, Kevin Durant being traded to the Phoenix Suns, as of Wednesday night, and all that stuff when that happened, and particularly if you can guess which one, it is, or which one is Manny's, you'd probably be wrong, and all that stuff, and everything. So, Manny, your
yes,
thoughts on Kyrie
the
Irving?
Utah Grizzlies. Oh,
You got the wrong team though too. You did it wrong, Utah Grizzlies. What the heck?
they were once a team though, right?
It's okay. Utah Jazz, Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I saw Utah Grizzlies in my mind.
I have no idea either. And all that stuff. So, if you haven't understand it already, Manny is a Mavericks fan.
Yes, I am. This is correct. I watched the game, his first game.
I saw the end of it.
Um, I don't have any amazing, like horrible complaints as of right now. I think we're gonna have to wait until him and Luka play together, which is hopefully this next game coming up.
No, let me repeat something that happened after the game had ended.
Yeah, what was it like? A couple minutes. It was. I think it was during the game. It could have been during the game.
It was right when it ended. It was
right when it ended. Okay.
Right he texts me. He's like, "See, that wasn't bad. LOL." I respond, "You won by 6, and Luka didn't play." When he texts me back, "Yeah, that just makes it even more exciting if Luka plays next game. Then I'll be impressed." All that stuff. Here's the thing. I think Irving went for 25 points, 7 something, 7 5. I think it was. I could be wrong on the stat line on that particularly. Yeah, of course, it's Kyrie, interesting and all that stuff. It's Kyrie. Of course, he's gonna ball out like that. We've seen him do that before, and all that stuff when he does play. Yeah, I'm more interested in seeing how this looks of once Luka's in, because I didn't know Luka wasn't playing until I started watching the game and all that stuff and everything. And when I found out he was out, I was like, oh, no point. And all that stuff. And I was like, it doesn't impress me yet because I know this is what he can do by himself and all that stuff. And the fact that he's doing this without Luka, it's been there, done that. We've seen it before. I'm willing to see what happens once Luka is back in the lineup and seeing how this team looks with them together, because the offense is Luka heavy and base. He holds the ball out. You're mute, by the way, just to let you know if you're talking and all that stuff and everything.
Extremely Luka heavy. Yes.
So the thing is, and then Kyrie, he is someone that does need the ball too.
Yes.
So it's going to be interesting of where this goes and all that stuff.
How this plays out.
The rest of the season, because especially now, because we're going to get into the other stuff later about about the Kevin Durant trade and all that stuff. It's going to be interesting of where this team gets placed come playoff time and all that stuff.
Yes.
And everything. Now, was this a good trade? Well, again, we can't know that for sure because there's a lot of factors into this because it's Kyrie Irving. And everything. Yeah. Do we recognize him as a great basketball player? Of course. And all that stuff. He's shown it and he's proved it and all that stuff. It's just more the fact of there's a lot. Again, it's not him playing. It's him
being him.
his commitment,
Yeah,
pretty much, and all that stuff. Because it's like the way of him, the way how it led to him being in Dallas was the most craziest thing to happen. For the fact that Brooklyn was playing fine ever since they fired Steve Nash. Now Durant got hurt, which is of course that happens and everything and all that
yeah,
stuff. And but the other thing about it also is for the fact that it's like the fact that finds out he wants to get traded by the deadline was totally not though not surprising, totally out of the blue for the fact that they were playing
right.
so well and all that stuff. So apparently they were talking about extension talk. There was extension talks. They provided extension. He didn't want it back in the summer when they were still doing talk about it. They provided him a different offer, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that offer, so he wanted to trade and all that stuff. So what can happen now between this with them in Dallas? Who knows? And the thing is Dallas willing to provide is willing to give him the number of the length of the contract and also the money
Correct.
and
Yeah.
everything. Sorry,
Which I
go ahead.
I don't know how the NBA's contracting works. Like I don't know how that works exactly. But I don't think he would currently be there acting the way he's been talking if they hadn't. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Again, I don't. It's not that I don't fault him as a basketball player because he is an amazing talent. It is he. Let's just say this: when he went to Boston, he wanted to stay there. That didn't end up.
Yeah. No.
He joined Brooklyn to join up with Kevin Durant. He was saying there's going to happen there. COVID happened. That's when it got weird and all that stuff.
That's something
And also,
weird.
and I was, well, you cannot like he didn't want to participate in the bubble and all that stuff
Right.
and everything. And again, it's like I don't fault him. Like you're saying, I don't fault him for it for this decision of him not wanting to do that stuff and everything because he and all that stuff. It's just the way of you how you project it out and talking about this stuff
Right. Right.
and all that stuff.
I agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah, and everything. It's just like, and then again, when the season came back to when they started doing games in actual arenas, everyone knows by now he's not vaccinated. There were rules about being and all that stuff at that time for you to be vaccinated and all that stuff if you want to compete and all that stuff. Um, Last season, when it came to a thing at the beginning of last season, where the state of New York, in order for you to work or anything to be indoors, you have to be vaccinated. Kyrie didn't want to commit to that. Again, totally understandable and all that stuff and everything like that. It's understandable that you don't want to be vaccinated. Like I got that point, but at the same time, it's also coming to a point like, are you committed to your team and all that stuff and
Yeah.
wanting to play?
It was just handled wrong.
It was
in
handled
my opinion.
a lot of things. There's a lot of things in that where it can be and all that stuff, and that's like an example for that. In all honesty, it's like Andrew Wiggins, four for the Warriors. He was in that same situation also. He didn't want to get vaccinated. At that time, at the state of California, you had to be vaccinated for you to be indoors and all that stuff and everything like that. He ended up taking the vaccine and all that stuff for it because he wanted to play. He had I mean, he does say to the day he does regret taking the thing but then again, it was under the circumstances of him wanting to play
Right.
and all that stuff. And I totally and that's I don't wrong him for that. In all honesty, that's how he feels. But he had a good season. He had a wonderful season at the beginning and all that stuff. He became an all-star that this was last year too. And then they won a title and all that stuff. Now again, I'm not gonna fault Kyrie for what he wants on his beliefs of being vaccinated or not and everything like that. But it is that point of like again, it's that thing of committing yourself to wanting to be to being that player up to your team and all that stuff. And all that stuff.
Right.
It was just like he said it, and then like he would do away game. They said they wanted to do away games, if not, and all that stuff.
Well, because he was able to do away games in certain cities, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the thing?
exactly, yeah, and all that
Because
stuff
certain cities obviously had different mandates, so he was able to
at the
do
time. Yeah,
he was able to do games in different cities.
yeah. So it's just like that, and then like when it came to home games, he would be at the arena and all that stuff and everything, but couldn't play in the game. That particular thing right there was kind of weird because of,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were
uh,
able to be. You didn't have to be vaccinated to go to the games,
yeah, at the time.
right?
Well, I don't know. I forgot because I
Yeah,
forgot
it was like you couldn't. You were able to go to the games unvaccinated, but
because
the players had to be had to be vaccinated because they're
because it
technically
was
they're workers.
because you're technically the workers and all that stuff and everything, and it was just. But my thing about it was for the fact of you know you're not vaccinated and all that stuff. You know the player, you know your teammates had to be vaccinated in order for them to play and all that stuff. This was just me. I'm not like judging them for it. It's just more the fact of why would you attend the game and all that? Why would you even be there as a civilian and all that stuff? And even because you're technically you're contracted for that team as a worker. I don't think you should have been there to play, even if you're not even if you're not even playing and all that stuff. That was just me
Yeah,
and all that stuff and everything. But that became a whole big old ordeal in itself
yeah, that did.
and all that stuff and everything like that. It was just like, and then now he's like, he
Yeah,
said, and then he was saying he wanted to stay, and then all of a sudden this happens, and it's just like he wants to get traded. I'm like,
what happened?
what happened and
I
all that
mean,
stuff.
there
Like,
had to have been something behind the scenes. I
well,
feel
I mean,
like.
it's most like I said, I think it was just contract talks because again, apparently they gave him a they offered him an extension during the summer
Right.
before this season. He denied it. Most likely, the current offer, I guess the offer was probably less than what he was offered last time, and
Oh,
he didn't like
yeah, they
that,
was going down. Yeah, yeah.
and he didn't like that and all that stuff. So he was like,
I'm out.
it seemed like he didn't want. It seemed like it's either you trade me now or it's like I'm not going to play the rest of the season, kind of thing.
Right. Which I mean, I'd rather trade him for value than
Yeah,
than some type. I mean, they didn't get. Uh, Personally, I think that yeah, I'm a Dallas fan, whatever, but I do think we won that trade. I mean, a lot of people do. It doesn't seem like they really.
it's here's the
It's
I,
confused because then there's allegations though that they wanted like from the Lakers an extremely a lot of money or a lot
no
of
no a lot of
trade
it's
value.
yeah it was the fact
It was a
of
lot of trade value.
yeah, and then there's also talks about the owner. The owner didn't want to trade him to the Lakers.
Right. So he put like an extremely high value and the Lakers opted in.
Yeah, so it's just like
Yeah, it's
it's just for the fact of there's a lot of things it sounds like a mess overall from what it
yeah,
and then again we'll get to the Kevin Durant trade also because of that adds to it also about this whole thing with just Brooklyn in general. But
right.
at the end of the day, it's just like it's not the fact of can he play, it's more the fact if he's gonna play. In all
Yeah,
honesty, is he can he commit and all that stuff? Because in all is he there's a commitment thing and all that stuff with it.
right.
It feels like, and
Because we know he can play.
we know we can play. Everyone knows he can play. It's and no one doubts
Yeah,
that. It's like we don't
yeah.
doubt him. It's not that we're doubting his play. It's more the fact that it feels like everyone is doubting
Cooperation.
his cooperation and all that
Right.
stuff. And he's committed to if he's committed to this and all to the team and
And
everything.
if so, how is he fully committed? That's the thing.
Exactly, and this is like, and that's why it's like I'm interested in seeing of what Dallas does on
Yeah.
if on retaining him, how they on what that deal is going to be like on all that
Right.
stuff. So that's the thing. So it's like we can see him play out throughout the rest of the year, see how far they go in the playoffs and all that stuff. Because to me, I don't think they're a team. They're a team that can compete in the playoffs, but I don't know if they can win a title and all that stuff. I don't know.
This might change it depending.
I don't even with no with Kyrie. This was me saying that even with Kyrie.
Oh, with Kyrie.
Yeah, this is me saying that with Kyrie.
Maybe not defensively. Maybe not defensively.
Like I know that's a lot. That says a lot and all that stuff and everything. Like because they have Kyrie Irving. I'm like, but yeah, it's not the fact that I'm not, and I'm not judging this based off his commitment. It's more the fact of how I see this team overall
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Because the thing, and again, this is also, but if you look at it in a best perspective, we're gonna have to see of how well him and Luca can play together
Yes, that's also true. Yeah.
and everything. So it's like because so far we have not seen it, and I don't know about
If he can.
how when Luca comes back and all that stuff because I believe All Star break is next week too, and everything. So that's gonna be interesting about what's gonna happen there and all that stuff. So other than that, so that's the one big trade that happened and staying within Brooklyn, particularly and all that stuff as it goes. They also did another trade, and that is Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns. Now,
Yes.
to put perspective on this deal, because there's a lot that happened into this. If I could find it, give me a second. Because I had it and I kind of messed it up not pulling it. So it is Kevin Durant along with TJ Warren going to Phoenix for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, who now traded to Milwaukee and all that stuff, and four, I said 4 first round picks
A lot.
with a 2028 pick swap and all that stuff. So when you look at this trade on a Phoenix Sun perspective, this is championship or bust and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is championship or bust for the season for them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I will say this does, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later on about what I see about how I see this now and all that stuff. But the fact that you were willing to give up four 1st round picks to do this.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the Phoenix. Within Phoenix, they have a brand new owner now and everything like that. That officially went through as of this past week, and everything. And he wants to make a big splash for what it seems like after with this deal, and he got it. And
True.
it is,
Boy, did he.
but also this trade happened because of most likely because of Kyrie and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And everything. Him leaving, of course, they want to do right by Durant and all that stuff for him coming to Brooklyn and all that stuff. So they did what they can, and it looked like Phoenix was the only team that they've talked to get this deal done to make sure they traded him.
Okay.
So it looks like it was only Phoenix. It didn't look nobody else was going to go for him and all that stuff, or they were only going to go to Phoenix for this and all that stuff. Because if you look at it back in the summer, Durant did request for a trade, and the possible suitor of where it was going to be was Phoenix. So,
Was Phoenix? Okay.
and all that stuff. So it looks like the deal ended up happening just later than expected. And all that stuff. So that's the thing and all that stuff. So again, with this confirms like Phoenix's championship or bust and all that stuff. We will probably want to see this team in full effect for a while because Durant is still injured at the moment at this time. Booker just got back from an injury too, so we're gonna see where that goes and for that stuff. So we probably won't see this team full effect probably after All-Star break. So, but already the fact this team is already stacked on the starting lineup. We'll see where this goes and everything. Now to move forward on the stuff, like I said, because again, this starts with Kyrie, and this is a ripple effect to many other trades.
Domino effect, yeah.
A domino effect of many trades that happen come by with this. Not only was Durant trade was the other thing, the Lakers made a trade of acquiring D'Angelo Russell from the Minnesota Timberwolves. In order that to happen, they send Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz for that, and this is also a 3-team trade. So not only that, D'Angelo Russell coming from Minnesota to LA, going back to LA because he was originally drafted by this team and all that stuff. It also sent it Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz, but also Minnesota also getting Mike Conley Jr. from Utah and a 2027. Yeah, a 2027. No, that's Utah. Utah's getting a 2027 1st-round pick for that and all stuff. To put side into this deal, this helps the Lakers by getting D'Angelo Russell. Second thing, there is no way in hell we're seeing Russell Wilson performing in a Utah Jazz uniform. He's gonna get bought out, and he's gonna sign somewhere else. That's the thing on that one. To bring out some other deals, pop out some other deals. So that's as I mentioned, Jay Crowder, who is now going from Phoenix to Brooklyn, he is now being traded from Brooklyn to Milwaukee. That is a good deal right there of adding more, adding a forward to Milwaukee and everything. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Some other deals to know to notice about what's going on. Uh, where is it? I just lost it. No, I think that's pretty much it. There are some other some other deals like Eric Gordon coming from Houston to the LA, going to the LA Clippers, um, and everything. Clippers made a ton of trades and all that stuff to get to get their roster going. Lakers made another trade by sending Patrick Beverly to Orlando to pick up Mo Bamba and everything. So it's like that helps them out and some of the things. The Warriors made some transactions. They traded their number 2 overall pick from 2 seasons ago, James Wiseman. They had traded him to the Detroit Pistons in a deal in a three team, well technically four team trade where
That's
Wiseman,
a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. Trust me. Welcome to NBA transactions. You get all that stuff. Wiseman is going to Detroit Pistons, and everything and then Sadiq Bey, who is from the Pistons, is being sent to the Atlanta Hawks in a multi-team trade. Whereas in that trade, also they have acquired the Warriors acquired Kevin Knox in that trade along with 5 second-round picks. In order for that trade to happen, what they did with that, they have now sent Kevin Knox and the 5-round second picks to the Portland Trailblazers in order to bring back Gary Payton II. Gary Payton II, veteran guard, he did play for the team last season in their championship run. So bringing him back, a lot of good things right there, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So good things. So to look at all this, here's the thing. I want to go back. I want to say I think it was towards December. There was an interview.
1994.
No, of last year, and all that stuff.
That's cool. That's cool.
So there was an interview with Memphis Grizzlies guard Ja Morant, and all that
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Mm-hmm. There was so the question was, who does he see in the who does he see as a threat in the West? This was his answer.
Dwayne Wade.
No. What? You know what
it would be funny.
It would be, but that's not it. That's not it.
He's like Larry Bird.
That's not it. So let me, as I pull this up, I'm trying because I forgot. I want to provide the direct quote on this because this quote here is, I feel, is what led to all this, in my opinion, and all this stuff, because it's funny, and it's funny as heck. Because like there's a lot more to it with that quote in general, but I gotta find it. Oh, here he goes. So, so the question was talked about is like if he's worried about facing teams in the Western Conference and all that stuff. His quote, his answer to that was, "Nah, I'm fine in the West." Now again, this was the game. This happened before the Christmas game against the Warriors. And you know what happened in that game? They got the butts kicked. They got the butts kicked.
Okay.
The Grizzlies got their butt kicked, and all that stuff.
They went back to Memphis.
And no, this was in Golden State, and everything. So
they went back to Vancouver. My bad.
Good one. The good one.
Yeah.
So the thing is about the Grizzlies, for those who don't know, the Grizzlies have been like on this high horse kind of thing, in a way.
Oh.
They've been a little, I guess you could say, cocky, you know, that stuff.
Don't you mean high bear?
Nice. Yeah. So, and it led to because here's the thing: in the early parts of the NBA season, they were in the top of the West and all that stuff, along with the Jazz at the time too, and all that stuff. They were playing very well and all that stuff, and then it was like, and it got a little, I don't want to say anything. It was like it seemed like they got a little cocky and all that stuff and everything like that. Because like if you don't know, also they have like this little, there's like a little rivalry with the Warriors. Now they were talking talking some crap and all that stuff, though they lost to the Warriors in the second round in the playoffs and everything. And then this quote happens before the Christmas game. They got their butts kicked in the Christmas game, and then they haven't been playing well since. And then all of a sudden now, you have after tonight, You now have Kyrie Irving with the Dallas Mavericks, Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Sun, the Clippers reloading the full team, the Lakers looking very interesting now after the decision after the transactions they made and all that stuff too, and all that stuff. Of course, the Warriors, because you can't sleep on the Warriors in all honesty and all that stuff, and that's coming as a fan and someone that pays attention to the game and all that stuff. Um, Now it is very interesting of now where what the West is going to look like now with after everything. Again, to provide context of what's happening in these select trades, Kevin Durant to the Suns, Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks, Russell Westbrook to the Jazz, though he might get bought out and might join a different team, most likely in the Western Conference.
Portland.
No, I don't.
How is Portland doing?
That'll be interesting though. They haven't been playing well, but that is interesting. The rumors are it was once he gets bought out, he probably might stay in LA and go to the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be
Thanks,
interesting. D'Angelo Russell going to the Lakers. Patrick Beverley to the Magic. That's an East Coast team. Mike Conley to the Timberwolves. That's still in the West Coast. John Wall, who's with the Clippers, going back to the Rockets after a weird thing happened with them back earlier, a couple years back. Eric Gordon going to the Clippers. Josh Hart going to the Knicks. That's an East Coast thing. Mikal Bridges going to the Nets, East Coast. James Wiseman to the Pistons, Eastern Conference. Sadiq Bey to the Hawks, East. Gary Payton II back to the Warriors. Mo Bamba going to the Lakers. The majority of those teams are all Western Conference teams and all that stuff. You are now looking. I forgot to pull up the conference standings. Looking at this, so you're right now, as it is, the top 4 teams in the Western Conference are the Nuggets at 2, 1. I mean, the Nuggets at 1, Grizzlies at 2, the Kings at 3. The surprise darling of the West of the NBA, the Sacramento Kings, are playing like it's the early 2000s with Chris Webber and Peja Stojakovic and all that stuff. I mean, they're more. It's more
and Bibby.
You can't forget about Bibby.
Don't forget my Bibby.
You can't. Those are
Kings legend.
The golden days of Sacramento basketball and everything.
Don't let the refs find out.
Those were the fun times. Those were fun times though. If you weren't watching basketball at the time, it's back when Grant Napier, the announcer of the Kings, was like, if you ain't watching this, if you didn't see that, you ain't watching Kings basketball and everything. That was fun times. Those were fun times. How was that?
And the refs weren't watching Kings basketball.
And then rounding up top 4 was Dallas Mavericks at the 4 spot. So you have the Clippers at 5, the Phoenix Sun at 6, and everything. The Lakers are outside of the play-in right now and everything. But if you look at it closely, between 2 and 10, which all stuff, you are looking at a 6-game difference between it, with a lot of basketball left between now and the end of May, and all that stuff. This top 10, this current top 10, if I rounded out the finish, with Clippers, Sun, Pelicans, Timberwolves, Warriors, and Blazers right now, this could literally change between now and then with everything that's happened. This could literally change between now and then and all that stuff. So the second half of this season is just got a lot more interesting and all that stuff. If you were worried about what you're gonna do post Super Bowl and all that stuff, you're good. If you like basketball, you're good.
I'm just gonna watch more hockey.
And all that stuff, or unless you're Manny and love hockey and all that stuff. But the lingering question of all this though is now that trade deadline's over, there will be players that will get bought out of their contracts. So we're going to be looking at the buyout market where people are going to try to sign these players. And they're going to be some good players from this market. As I said, Westbrook is going to be one of those players. Though again, it looks like he'll probably go to the Clippers. Though some people are saying he can head out east, go to Miami. So that'll be interesting to see and all stuff. But again, the question you're probably going to be asking yourself right now is, how is Brooklyn going to be after all this? They are currently 5th in the East and all that stuff. They just lost the two best players in the league and all that stuff. They currently are, I think, if I remember correctly, going based off right now and all that stuff, they're currently 1-1 since with both players out and all that stuff and everything. We'll see where it goes. They won their game. Now post Kyrie and Durant, they won their game. They won their recent game, which was today, and all that stuff. And they played well. Played well from what it sounds like. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye. You got to keep an eye on Brooklyn. They'll see how they play throughout the rest of the season and all that stuff. Hopefully, will they drop? Will they rise? Who knows? We're gonna see something. But everything is gonna shift towards the West now. Everything's going crazy now. We got potential matchups. We got Phoenix versus the Warriors now and all that stuff because and everything like that with Durant. Because there's a story of how Durant should have never left the Warriors and all that stuff and everything like that. We're gonna see what he is with a actual super team in a way and all that stuff. How are the Lakers gonna be come down and all that stuff with the changes they made and all that stuff and everything. It's gonna be crazy. A lot of crazy stuff happening right now in the basketball season. I'm excited and all that stuff.
See Portland do good. I'm not a Blazers fan, but I want to see them do good.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Damian Lillard. Man,
dude, that's the only reason I want Portland to do good.
His commitment to that team says a lot and all that stuff.
Dude,
his commitment to that team says a lot.
He makes me want to be a Blazers fan. Specifically Lillard.
Oh man. We'll see. I mean, there are I think they were 10th. What they saw. They're in the play-in currently at the last spot. But again, like I said,
yeah,
between 5th and 13th, which is what the Lakers are at right now.
Okay.
It's within a 2 to 3 game win loss.
That's extremely close.
That area right there can change in a quickness and all that stuff just there. If you're looking outside of the top 4 and all that stuff.
That's true.
It's gonna, I'm telling you, a lot's gonna happen. Things are happening and all that stuff. It's gonna be crazy this season. The rest of the season.
I wonder if Matthew knows about or how Matthew feels about Damian's commitment.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting times. Like I said,
I don't know if you caught that one.
I don't know. No, I didn't. I wasn't paying. I was trying to just go with it to see what happens.
Matthew Lillard's the dude from Scream. He's Scooby-Doo.
Oh. I was like, I heard Matthew, and then I was like, wait, what? And I was like,
you're like Austin Matthews?
I'm just gonna roll with it. And everything.
You're like, I think Austin Matthews is a Raptors fan.
I'm just gonna roll with it. But again, basketball season. Again, after the Super Bowl, we're gonna see if you need something to watch. Pay attention to the NBA. It's gonna get crazy now and all that stuff. We got a lot of exciting stuff happening right now.
You know what else is getting crazy right now? Cricket. It's okay, so not worldwide, but I mean in the city that we're in, it's starting to get extremely popular.
Yeah.
Not sure why. I still don't know how to play it.
Okay. Before we move on to our final stuff, which is going to be, of course, the NFL, Super Bowl weekend, a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Good things happening. I want to sidetrack to something else real quick and all that stuff before we get into this, and that is wrestling. We are currently
Olympic.
We are currently in WrestleMania season. The Royal Rumble was this past January. Was what just happened in January. We have Cody Rhodes winning the men's Royal Rumble. Congrats to him, and Rhea Ripley winning the women's and all that stuff, and everything for that one and all that stuff. I did watch the Royal Rumble. Manny, did you did watch it, right? And all stuff.
Yeah, I watched it.
So here's the thing. The reason why we're bringing this up. This is mostly the time we actually do start watching wrestling more seriously, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And I enjoy it. But I think from what I'm seeing so far, we got storylines happening. We have some other things happening in the business side within WWE particularly and all that stuff. With a potential sale, from what it sounds like, and all that stuff. Saudi Arabia.
Potential trauma with that right now?
Yes, Saudi Arabia. There's some issues here and there and all that stuff and everything, all that stuff. And I started here there. Personally, there was a weird rumor that Disney should buy them. I was like, what?
I mean,
Comcast.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Comcast is the is the most reasonable one. I mean, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I mean, they have the NBC, the NBC network, and all that stuff. Most of their stuff is under that, outside of SmackDown, which is
Yeah.
on Fox, and all that stuff.
I just think it'd be
We'll
kind
see.
of weird. Disney bought it. 'Cause I feel like they would
It
make
is
it
so
like
weird. It is
they would
so
return
weird.
it to like PG. They would.
That is so weird. I can't see that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like here's the thing. You put that in Disney. So here's the hypothetical crazy thing if Disney bought WWE. First of all,
WrestleMania and Disney World.
first things first. Of course, it would revert back to the PG era and all that stuff. Crazy as it is,
Yes.
and all that stuff. Second thing, WWE Network gets moved to Hulu and all that stuff and everything.
Yes.
All content moves to Hulu. Now here we go. Here's the thing. Do you put for Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff? Does that go on ESPN? Do you put that on the ABC network and all that
Disney
stuff?
XD.
Disney
XD.
NXT on Disney XD.
Yes, that would be the first thing that they would do.
And all that stuff.
Is Disney XD still a channel?
I have no idea. I know. Yes,
I remember it being a thing.
It is.
Okay.
It is. When they did their Pro Bowl advertisement, at Disney XD was one of the channels.
Wasn't
Yeah.
I remember WWE having they had Sunday Morning Slam on Disney XD, and it was one match.
I don't know.
And it was in summertime.
So yeah, but okay, so NXT on Disney XD, you have SmackDown and Raw. Where do you put that on ABC? Do you put that on the ESPN channels and all that stuff and everything? And then here's the kicker. Though you have WWE Network on Hulu, you can still have the opportunity to buy the pay-per-views through ESPN Plus.
I was way off. I'm sorry. First off, it was Saturday. I said Sunday. It was Saturday Morning Slam, and it was on the CW. I remember Disney Channel having a. Am I on something? Did I go to the alternate universe?
It is what it is. Don't worry about it. All that stuff. Don't make it harder on yourself. All that stuff. But yeah, that is the hypothetical craziness of, say, if Disney bought WWE and all that stuff. But no, coming back to Royal Rumble. So here's the thing. To run through quickly. Men's Royal Rumble. Cody winning. I think that was predicted. That was the main prediction and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the most sensible one, based off what he has story-wise and everything, coming back, the pectoral thing. I remember they showed that back. I was like, damn, that's just, and all that stuff. So it makes sense. Next match was the Pitch Black match between
Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, the sponsored match with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight.
Yeah.
I'll admit the what's the word I'm looking for? The display of it, interesting. Match, not so much. Story.
Kind of weird.
But hey, it's Bray Wyatt. It is what it is. After that, Bianca Belair going against Alexa Bliss for the Raw's Women's title.
Oh wait, hold on. To go back on the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, how did you feel about being sponsored by like a match being sponsored by something?
It was weird.
Well, then you're gonna love WrestleMania because they're having a Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsored match.
Is that true?
Yes, they are.
Oh God, I think I'll probably like that more. Honestly,
I feel like they have to have the New Day in that match.
It most likely has to be.
They have to. There's no other match you can do a Cinnamon Toast Crunch match.
Though they haven't been on TV as much. I mean, they were on NXT recently, but still.
Well, I think that's because Big E's kind of. Oh, wait, no, Big E wasn't with them. Big E split. Yeah. They shouldn't have split Big E and New Day. I'm just.
No, you mean like actually split them? Like they.
Yeah.
Like they tried to do, but they didn't work.
Yeah, and I was like, he's with them, but he's not with them, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Bianca Belair, that happened. What was after that? I think it was the women's Royal Rumble after that one.
Yeah, and then after that, it was
quick rundown of that one. Why Nia? Why did they bring back Nia Jax? That was
So here's the thing. I heard it was just a one-time thing, but she has merch in their shop.
like, what was the
But
like?
she's still under their alumni category.
So
So
here's the
I'm
thing.
not sure.
I don't know what I'm more upset about: the fact that Nia Jax is back in, or the fact that they made Chelsea Green the gave her the record for the fastest elimination.
Yeah, that kind of sucked. I'm more mad at the fact that they used number 30 on Nia Jax.
That I thought it was 29.
No,
Oh,
she
it
was
was 30.
number
No, it
30.
was 30. That was
Yeah,
right. That was right.
they could
That's right.
they could have given her any other number, dude, and I would have
Yeah.
been like, this is
Yeah.
weird, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Number 30, the one everybody waits for, was
That
Nia Jax for a
that-
one-off.
Yeah. That was like I was like, I'm tired. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That was
Dude,
stupid.
that's
That was stupid.
yeah,
Rhea Ripley winning. Honestly, it's the best thing you can go with but the thing was I didn't know before she finally made her pick. I didn't think of like what would be the best option. Then I thought about it. I was like, Charlotte made more depending on who she picked before she made the pick. After thinking about it, it made more sense to go to Charlotte than it did with Bianca and everything.
right.
And and my reasoning for it was for the fact of it happened to her when she was NXT champion and lost to Charlotte, and then it happened again when she was Raw Women's champion, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
But it wasn't WrestleMania though. But it was just something else.
it was still cashing though.
Yeah, it was like a thing. So I was like, that would make more sense. And then Monday Night Raw happened. The promo kicked in. She talked about Charlotte. I was like, wow, continuation, love it. That stuff. Some people were off, didn't think that made sense. I was like, no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I just don't like Charlotte have the title.
And all that stuff. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think, the only thing that what made me like off about picking Charlotte is Judgment Day. How would that work now? And all
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because they're on Raw. It seems like she's gonna win it based because if it goes the route it's supposed to, based off the continuation, she would be on SmackDown now, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's the one thing about the split and everything like that, and what happens there, and all that stuff. So we'll see
what. Speaking of Judgment Day, how do you feel about Dominic? This weird like cuck thing, not a cuck, but
I'm like because here's the thing, like I'm now getting my like full on look at him, like because I'm watching now. Like, I mean, of course I pay attention and all that stuff. I see what goes where, but watching it and seeing it and everything, I'm not gonna lie, the whole Rhea Ripley mommy thing kind of threw me off a bit.
So this is a little weird.
It threw me off a bit, but I see where it's going.
It's just kind of funny to me how like on screen, originally Buddy Murphy was supposed to be dating Ray's daughter on screen. And now Dominic's supposedly dating Rhea on screen.
Yeah, it's like but it's like I feel like
kind of funny.
When I look at it, it feels like it's like I feel like he can do more.
Yeah.
It feels like when I look at it, it's like you can do more. Like I see something, but it's like I think what he's in just makes it feels weird and all that stuff. Stuff. So it's like I don't know. It depends on how
they were going a really good route with the Judgment Day thing, and then at some point I don't know why they went full on with the whole movie thing. I don't know if it's.
I think for me it felt like it went weird when they took out Edge, but I don't know.
No, I like the term because it reminds me of like
but it felt
like
quick.
Bullet Club kind of a thing.
To me, it felt quick.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they could have played out a little bit longer.
I think
yeah.
But I don't know if maybe the original intention was for it to go out and then lose him. But I don't know if there was something on Edge's end since he's more part-time. And
I don't think so because they're kind of leaning into him quite a bit now.
They have been more, and like I mean, but that's
and they were leaning into it for a while, and then the Dominic turn happened.
Because that was my thing though, because like the Dom turn, that's where I felt like that. I think Edge should have been part of Judgment Day for the Dom turn to happen. in my opinion.
Yeah, and then they would, but then how would they have gotten Dom to turn? That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Because like Eddie, like I mean, this the whole Edge is friends with the whole Mysterio family and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Edge is the one that's
Yeah,
recruiting. Edge is the one that's recruiting Dom, trying to recruit Dom.
but
You know
you
what I'm
don't
saying?
think Ray would also be recruited too? That's the thing.
No, I think
You think so?
I'm fine with the whole son betraying the father thing. I am fine with that,
Yeah.
and I think it would have made more. I think it would have been more interesting with the fact if you had Edge doing the recruiting to him to get to Judgment Day and disobeying him and all that stuff, and then betraying him and all that stuff.
Not him going because of a girl.
It is what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I think no. From my opinion, I feel like it was the whole team at first when they were trying to recruit him. It's
Yeah.
just that the thing is with Rhea, she has that like what's that word I'm looking for?
Dom.
Gravitas and dom feel to it, where it feels
Yeah, yeah.
like where she can carry it herself
Yeah.
without the
True.
group and all that stuff. And that's why it's like that's why I didn't trip about it as much as that Rhea's doing and all that stuff. But again, back to everything, it's like her going to Charlotte makes more sense on that story.
I really hope it builds up to like a Ray Dom and Mania thing, but
I hope. I mean, it depends. Like, see, that's the thing. It's like that's what I'm saying though. It's like
then they haven't really been doing it, and then
the weird, like I said, the weird thing about it was for the fact because I was already weird because that was the thing. Like before Rio winning it, because that's why it kind of like surprised me at the same time for the fact that going back to the men's Royal Rumble when you had Edge coming back, Beth coming back, and then Rhea was there and all that stuff and everything. She attacking. My thought on that, how that trade went from the men's Royal Rumble was Rhea goes into the women's Royal Rumble. Beth is in the Royal Rumble also. They fight out and all
yeah, I
that
thought so
stuff.
too. Yeah, yeah,
And I thought they were going to go at it, but both get eliminated. Then they will lead to something to WrestleMania and all that stuff.
yeah,
For that stuff to happen and all stuff. Like the match that's supposed to be happening at Elimination Chamber, with Beth and Edge and versus I think it's Finn and Rhea. I think it is in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I thought that match was supposed to be WrestleMania and all that stuff. But now Beth wasn't in the Women's Royal Rumble. Rhea started at number 1 and then
yeah.
started at the first 2 and then went from there and won it. That's where I was like I see where it's I see where it could go with that. And then when I thought she was going to choose Charlotte, but the other thing was where does Judgment Day play into this and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
That's the
And
thing.
then and then I don't know if you saw the NASCAR thing. Like now they're beefing again with the NASCAR sponsorship where they raced each other. Kind of.
I didn't see that.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I didn't see that. But yeah, that happened, and I feel like I don't want to get to the main event yet because I feel like I'm missing a match.
I can remember.
I can't remember it either. All that stuff. But Lesnar at the Rumble, back losing, and then that crazy stuff happened. I was like,
oh yeah.
Like, here we go again. The thing is with him and Lashley right now, because that's what I feel like it's gonna lead to in WrestleMania. Him and Lashley going at it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know where it could go. Like, here's the thing, I don't feel like Lesnar is a heel, especially with that's how he looks right now too, and how he acts. It doesn't feel as a heel kind of thing, like like he had before that. But the thing is, there's also this thing where it seems like what it looks like right now so far. There's also this thing with him and MVP and the Hurt Business might be coming back and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, does it make Lashley turn heel in some way and all that stuff? Because it's like, I don't know. Because it's like, I don't know how I feel about that right now. And how that plays out. I was like, but it's like, do you make do you make Lashley or do you make the Hurt Business a face group and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And it's just like, cause it's weird. Cause like, I think it was I don't know if it was this past Monday or the week before where, MVP had Austin Theory on and then Lashley came out and all that stuff. And then MVP, though they weren't cool, he was holding them back and all that stuff. And then when Austin was like, yeah, let's let your daddy hold you back or something like that. And then
Yeah.
and then MVP was like, I'm out of this. And then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, back to the men's. Logan Paul and Ricochet. That's
Oh, yeah, that weird body collision thing.
that body collision thing was crazy. In all honesty,
Yeah, dude, I was the whole group that was watching Rumble were like, please don't let Logan Paul win.
oh no, I don't no, he wasn't gonna win that.
Dude,
He wasn't gonna win that.
just in case.
And all that stuff. I mean, the whole thing for that was Cody to win it. So it was like,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it was like, no way, Logan. I think Logan Paul was gonna be in there. He's gonna stay for a while. He's gonna have a big pop moment and all that stuff, and then he's out. So, but it does seem like it might lead to him and Rollins going at it at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now. So we'll see where that goes between now and then. It's everything else I could talk about, and heading on to, oh god, we're going over crap.
Yeah.
Main event. Fine event. The ending, though, it's the ending. I enjoy it, and it does lead to a lot of speculation and stuff of what could happen between now and WrestleMania
Right.
and all that stuff. So, of course, Sami Zayn betraying Roman Reigns. Jimmy or Jay that left?
Jay.
It was Jay. Jay bouncing out, not all confused and not knowing what to do. But again, here's the people don't understand continuity and all that stuff. Don't remember when the Bloodline first before got together, Jay was against Roman. They had a couple fights and all that stuff, and then all in end, he ended up joining the Bloodline. If you don't understand of why he would have that confusion, don't remember, Jay is the one that defended Sami, though Jay never trusted him at the time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Story and all that stuff. So there's that and all that stuff. So far, we haven't seen Jay yet back and all that stuff recently. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening right there. We are getting Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns for the title at the Elimination Chamber and all that stuff. And so that way it's going to happen and everything like that. So there's that. But we'll see I think we'll see where it goes. I think it's going to be fine. I think where the intention rumor of where it's supposed to go, where Sami loses, of course, and everything. There's supposed to be this thing where Jay comes back, but he's back with the Bloodline. And it's supposed to be the Usos versus Owens and Jay for the titles. I do believe that's where the route's going to go. Though there's a chance people won't like that and all that stuff. But I feel like this is where the course it needs to go in order for what's going to happen if this is going to lead to this Bloodline breakup in a way and all that stuff. And I think the whole thing so far they already planted the seed back this past Monday night when Heyman was talking to Cody and all that stuff, talking about some stuff. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Here's one thing. I really think they should have put a title on Solo.
A title?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised I'm surprised
I see United States.
I think
something.
United States right now would be the better option.
Yeah.
I feel like right now with the Intercontinental title, with it being on Gunther and his budding rivalry right now with Sheamus and McIntyre, is leading to a point where you're going to see him going against one of them, if not both of them, at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that right there is fine. So I mean, right now at the moment, if you look,
I mean, right now though you got Theory though. So I mean,
but I feel like though the U.S. titles is wide open. In all honesty, you can do a lot of things right now with it.
Yeah.
In all honesty, how it feels like, for that. So that's why it's like I can see Solo. If Solo was in a title picture for something, U.S. would make more sense. Right now.
I really think they should put the title on him before they broke him up, because I mean they have, and then even go so far as give Solo the United States, and then maybe give Sami IC. That'd be kind of cool.
Mm.
That'd be cool.
If you did if the whole Royal all of them having titles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice.
Something like how Undisputed Era, remember how they were draped in gold, that whole thing, that whole storyline.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been nice to see. But I think
Evolution. Remember Evolution for a minute did that?
Yeah, but I think
that'd be pretty cool.
I think it's just more of the fact of They probably did notice they had something on the IC side when Gunther took it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
that's true.
like I said, US does feel open to more
Yeah,
to different storylines, to bring storylines, and then putting that in the fray of the bloodline where the
yeah, because you
DCU
got
is,
like Bobby Lashley in theory, but then also now you got Lesnar with Bobby Lashley. So
and
then where
then
does Theory really fit in?
Rollins in the picture, but he's not right now. He's technically not
Yeah,
involved
like
with all
he's
that stuff.
also kind of beefing with Logan Paul right now. So it's
Yeah.
like, what's
So yeah,
Theory doing? He's kind of just in everything right now.
yeah. So that's pretty much what it is right now, from what it sounds like. But
I say have Theory take with both titles for Roman at WrestleMania.
here's
That's
the
what they
thing.
should do.
Here's the thing. I think this is this is so far has been the most interesting WrestleMania season right now, based on what's planned out so far, and it feels like, as we can as I mean, pretty much it's easy to say, like, since Triple H has now taken over creative,
Yeah,
this is a very interesting WrestleMania season coming forward and all that stuff.
yeah.
Let me get to LA.
Which is good that we're going. That's a lie.
I was like, wait, what? When did
I wanted to, and
you?
then I saw ticket prices. And I was like,
And the fact that it's a 2 day. Here's the thing, Mike. Here's a question for you. With the bloodline thing, do you see, since in WrestleMania being the two is always is now a 2 day thing? Do you see the the potential Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Usos title tag team match as the main event for night one, and then Cody and Roman for night two main event?
yeah, I could see that. But I think they would want to do something like a women's match
They probably do something like that instead.
for a main event,
But
like what they did last time.
yeah, but it's just the fact. It's like, and I don't know if it's just me. I don't. The women's division hasn't been
Impactful.
impactful as it used to be,
Yeah,
as it was before, and all that stuff.
it's definitely still better than AEW's women's division.
Oh yeah. Speaking of AEW, so they apparently they signed a new TV contract with ESPN
That's cool. So they're gonna be an ESPN Plus.
in Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just wanted to get that. I saw that today. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, wait, what? And then I had to read the press release. It said Australia, New Zealand, and Pacific Islands. Like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm gonna show this to Manny and see how he reacts to this. So, because it's so funny how
I only watch AEW for one person. It's Dustin
I was like,
Rhodes.
I find it so funny. I was like, it's kind of funny how we just recently just did like a whole random prediction thing of AEW getting, I mean, WWE getting bought by Disney. How we just predicted where it goes in ESPN. But anyways, to end on this, week is Super Bowl. Super Bowl is happening. Chiefs versus the Eagles. I don't know the stat.
Eagles.
I don't know the line and all that stuff. I want to say one thing before we get into anything. Was it me, or was there no Nickelodeon playoff game this season?
There wasn't.
Such a sad.
I think they had two regular games.
Yeah,
Instead.
on CBS and everything. Yeah. Though I will admit, Monday night football playoffs, pretty cool. Though
That is true.
here's the thing, and I said this to our friend. I said this to one of our friends. The fact that there was 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and 2 games on 1 game on Monday, they should have evenly spread that out. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, 2 games on Monday night. They've done Monday night doubleheaders before on during the regular season. You can do it for the wild card weekend. That's just me. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyways, Manny picks the Eagles. I am also picking the Eagles and all that stuff and everything, because
I think this is a hard season for me because I don't like the Eagles and I do not like Mahomes because he did a Hunts commercial. So
yeah,
I don't stand with Hunts. So I'm sorry.
But anyways, that is it. We'll talk about some more.
Oh wait, hold on. Eagles by 3. We'll say that.
I will say by 10.
Oh, that's a lot. That's like double 5.
No, here's this. They're gonna win by 1.
I don't know how that's mathematically correct, but okay.
It'll score.
They get a free throw.
They get a free throw. Yeah.
Yeah, they get a foul. They get a foul.
It's gonna be a field. It's gonna be a field goal and everything, and they can win by 1.
They should do that. Penalty field goals, dude.
No.
Certain penalties
That just sounds boring. And this is coming from somebody that doesn't watch football a lot.
Yeah. Certain penalties
and all that stuff. They need to
the team gets.
They need to fix
but okay, here's the thing. In order to compensate for them just not constantly giving out penalties, the penalty kick has to be from the place that the penalty was made.
Anyways, this has been the No Name Sports Show.
It'd be cool.
I'm your host, Ricky, along with my co-captain Manny Canales. We'll be back with you next month to talk about what's been happening. To get excited for Super Bowl talk, the start of the MLS season, and some other things that might happen between now and then, and all that stuff. Who knows? Someone might retire and all that stuff. Oh, Tom Brady retired.
He's going to CFL.
No, neither here or there. We don't care. Oh, that was the thing I was gonna say. The XFL.
Yes, I have seen Giselle.
The XFL starts 4 or 5 days after the Super Bowl. Weird. Anyways, bye.
Yeah. I'll check them out.
See you next month. Peace.